Capturing the effect of something that we see is a continual focus of mine. And in this daily drawing exercise, we're looking at how can we capture the effect of light and fluffy when we draw this object, which is an eiderdown. It's a light, fluffy, very well padded, stuffed fabric blanket, bed covering. And so how do we draw it and get the feel of the fullness, of the curvature, of the being stuffed with down feathers? Well, this is my take on how we capture that feeling of light and fluffy. And you'll notice the obvious thing is that I'm not drawing solid lines. Lines are not always a good way to capture the effect of the object that we're drawing. We often rush to lines in a way that really takes away our options to develop the feeling of our drawing later in the process. And so I keep my lines light. I hold the pen at a bit of an edge that with this brand of pen I've learned I can get a lighter line that I can come over the top of. But I also don't draw the line continuously. I make breaks in the line which give me the chance to create a different feel, a different effect at that point, whether it's a tension point or simply a place where the fabric can change direction slightly. Now, beyond getting the really perspective affected shape of the rectangle and the fact that it's a flexible object and it can actually bend, it doesn't sit on a horizontal plane, but then capturing this decorative element inside is really important. So everything's severely affected by perspective, and really once I draw that front lower edge, I really need to be aligning my corners with that and also my angles as well. I hope you noticed that I did once or twice use my pen to check my perspective angles of the eiderdown. Perspective is not just for buildings. Every object that we view is affected by perspective because every object that we view is impacted by where we stand when we view it. So now I'm trying to do a lot of small lines to capture the very broken surfaces of this eiderdown because of the stuffing inside, because of the great mass of feathers, some of which have started to collect in clumps and therefore create tensions, move around in certain ways and create tensions within the fabric, and in some points straining against the stitching, in other points creating depressions because there's not quite enough padding inside to completely push out what we're looking at. Now there is a gathered edge along the bottom, a sort of a decorative, what is it called? Ruching? Is it ruching? I don't know. Someone will tell me. Along the bottom, and I'm creating the effect of that. But again, I'm trying to draw the effect, not an exactness. So I'm doing a lot of little small lines to indicate the folding of the edging down the bottom, and also on this section that I'm doing just now, part of the decorative section. Again, always checking the reference, checking the perspective, and then just standing back for a second and looking at the overall shape of my drawing and ask, is it looking right? Do I need to adjust something? Can I adjust something? Or if there's something that's not right, what's the best way I can seek to improve it? Now, these gathering points in the triangular sections in the corners to stop the feathers inside clumping too much are each very different. It's a big mistake just to draw one and then just to go and draw the others without looking again at our reference. Because of the perspective, the corner ones are very distorted compared to the closer ones. So there's a lot of roundness in this. There's a lot of indication of stretching, of gathering of fabric. And every time we do a line to indicate that, we need to reflect the surface shape that we're drawing and to really use those tension lines to create the curvature. And lots of small lines that join together, because we're not drawing a long smooth surface. We want very much to capture the organic feel of this object. And don't forget, we have foreshortening as we look along the right hand side of the eiderdown, which actually is longer than the side that we're looking at more front on. Just doing a little bit of work with some direction lines in the center. And a good way to further emphasize the light and fluffy feel of our eiderdown is to put some hard, straight wood at the end in whatever you call the bed head that's at the base of the bed. Probably someone can tell me that too. So again, the foreshortening severely affects where these wooden supports stand. So just trying to work them out before I commit with lines that will be a bit hard to hide. But the straightness, the stiffness, and the darker hatching of this is a nice contrast. So if I want to make something look lighter and fluffier, then put something that's hard-edged and hard-surfaced next to it. And I'm just going to do a bit of what's hanging down below the eiderdown, just to fill in the sense of this is the bed. I had actually planned originally just to draw the eiderdown in space, so to speak. But then I thought adding the base of the bed would just to help create not just context, but contrast as well. So I decided to put that in. More hatching. This is a good subject to draw. It is a challenge to try and create this lovely light, round fluffiness. And I decided, look, I've done all the rest of it, so why not do this hint of some pillows just on the extreme right. Our line work is so important to the overall drawing. It is a great skill to learn to draw lines differently, to have a different feel in our lines, to have confident, straight, continuous lines, but to have broken, unevenly pressured lines as well that we can use to create other effects for other subjects. The hardest part of this drawing was moving all the clothes that were piled up all around the bed out of sight so that they weren't in the camera angles. But that just about does this, I think. G'day, I'm Stephen Travers. I hope you found this interesting. I really do hope you give it a go. It's a very different subject to one that we've drawn in this series so far, and it's a very different effect that we're trying to create. But creating effect with our marks is what drawing really is all about. So you'll find this photo reference on my channel community page. Why not have a go? But look, whatever you draw and however you're drawing it, make sure you have fun. I'll see you next time. Bye.